Welcome back to the Final K. A week later, I am back. We're live for the Amstel Gold Race today. There are 87 kilometres left. It only went live there on TV there not that long ago, about 20 minutes ago. But yes, we're back. Amstel Gold, the 90th edition of the Amstel Gold Race. We've got a breakaway up the road of 9 riders. We've had splits here in the past 10 minutes. I think everyone's back together. We've had crashes, we've had mechanicals, we've had punctures. So we've had quite a lot happening in the Amstel Gold Race. So what the Paul Lapira of Decathlon, he crashed, but he seemed to get back on the bike and back into the peloton. They didn't show it. They just mentioned it. Dorian Goudon had a mechanical. Then on his way back to the peloton, he had a puncture, but he's now back in the peloton, so he's all good. There was 2 riders that didn't start today. Let me have a look. I was just making sure my mic wasn't on mute there. There was 2 riders that didn't start today. That was Ben Tullett of Visma and Battistella from EF Education. And then, all right, Bobby, all good. Give me 1 wee second. Sorry, I was just... There we go. And then 3 riders have abandoned the race. So we had Morrow from Movistar, Schmidt from Ineos, American Schmidt, and then Van Beeken from Astana. So they're the 3 riders that have abandoned. All good, just freezing here. Yes, I'm doing fine as well, thank you. I'm well. I will just say that I'm not feeling the best. So if I do step away for a bit, it's just I haven't been feeling great. So if I do disappear at all, that is why. But I will try my best to stay here for as long as possible. But apart from that, I am all good. Thank you for asking. But yes, let me tell you who's in the. So we've 9 riders in the breakaway. We've got Abram Stockman from Unibet Rose Rockets, and there's Valentin Retaliou from Total Energies, De Weert from Team Flanders, Lopez from Caja Royale, Asperin from Q36, is that? Yeah, it is. Q36, and then there's Warren Barguil of Picnic Post, Marco Frigo of NSN, Masejuk from Movistar, and Arts from Lotto Intermarché. Jorgensen had a feeling you would be rooting for Jorgensen, so that let me get a poll up here now, because also means come on, let's go. Right, okay. Right, so 85k to go. We've got Red Bull. The Rob Hatch said at the start of the coverage that Red Bull have been controlling the race at the front the majority of the entirety of the day. So yes, good morning, Kat, or good afternoon, or whatever time it is over in America. But we are on to the, what is this? It's the Cowberg, the first time they're doing the Cowberg, so, and the breakaway has just split there. 3 riders have dropped off the back. That includes Stockman, De Weert, and Lopez. So there's a gap to the rest of the riders up the front from them 3. But Red Bull are doing the work at the front of the peloton, with the Remco sat in about second wheel off the front. Team Bahrain Victorious are coming up on the left-hand side with about 3 or 4 riders. But let me get a poll going here, because a lot of the I think I put a couple. Well, I don't mean I think, but I put a video up on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, saying that the start list, Tim Wellens is just dropping off the back of the peloton here. So he is. That is unfortunate. Glad to see him back on the bike, but just unfortunate to see him dropping off the back already. Hello, Shelley. All good. But yes, about the start list, Remco is pretty much the main guy at this race. There was meant to be a lot of other. Well, there's Skjelmose and other riders like that, and Jorgensen, but there was meant to be a lot of riders riding this, and they all got injured. We're pretty much just left down to, I'd say, about 5 or 6 riders, because we could have had Del Toro, we could have had, what are the other names? Ben Healy, Tom Pidcock, the likes of that. Unfortunately, they all aren't riding it this year. Pidcock he's riding the Tour of Alps tomorrow, so he is, and hopes to compete at the Liège-Bastogne-Liège. But I'm just talking about Amstel in general. The start list was it was weakened compared to what it was meant to be. Unfortunately, because of injuries and stuff. But I think from when you're looking at it, when you look at the start list, you go, "Oh, all the riders have dropped out. This isn't going to be good." But when you actually think about it, this completely opens the race up. So it does. It's going to make the race a lot more exciting. Because someone said in the comment on my TikTok, and I agree with him. He said a lot of people are going to believe that they can win this race now. So a lot of teams are going to work a lot harder. Because last year Pogacar, he attacked from out the front, and Remco and Skjelmose were the only ones able to go. So this one, it leaves the door open for anyone to potentially win. Now, if Remco's on his day and he attacks out the front, it could be a different story. But yes, let me get the poll up here now. I was doing a lot of rambling there, but we have got, I don't know, they got rid of the kilometer, but they're passing the finish line for the first time. I think they do 3 laps, I think it is. First passage, second passage. No, they do, I don't know what they're doing. They're doing one more full lap, and then they do like half a lap, I guess. Something like that. Hello, Johnny. Hello, Johnny. Right. I keep getting distracted for this. The peloton. What's the time gap actually? They've got rid of all the. Well, we're going to get a very accurate time gap here because the peloton are about to cross the finish line. Sorry, 2 laps. So it's 2 laps to go. But let's have a. Is it snowing? No, that's flowers from the tree. That looked a lot like snow. I was really confused there. Right, so the peloton are exactly 1 minute and 9 seconds behind the breakaway up the road. So let us have a wee. Let me get the. I keep saying let me get the poll up because I keep forgetting to do it. Who did I? Who was it that I... Alaphilippe now out the back as well. He's just about to cross the finish line. That's who I was thinking of. I can't believe I forgot him. And then let's get other. So the 2 riders, or the 2 big name riders that have dropped off the back already so far are Tim Wellens and Julian Alaphilippe. Tim Wellens obviously hasn't raced since Kuurne-Brussel-Kuurne. I said in my preview that he would be, I said Brandon McNulty would have been one to watch, but he didn't end up riding it. Tim Wellens was put down, and then I thought that Tim Wellens was going to be the main guy going into it. But he came out then in an interview and said that he is nowhere near ready to be a main guy for a race like this. And he rode the Brabantse-Pijl. Oh. Julian Alaphilippe has abandoned the race, actually. He crossed the finish line and then went off to the side of the road and back to the team buses. But Tim Wellens came out and said that he is nowhere near fit or ready enough to be the leader. So it is Cosnefroid for UAE. And he actually got 3rd at the Brabantse-Pijl, so he did. Right. Right, so the poll's up now. We've got Remco, Evenepoel, Jorgensen, Skjelmose, and other. My prediction for the day is Remco. Warren Barguil here has just dropped off the back off the breakaway now. So the breakaway is changing quite a lot at the moment because we did have 9 riders. Now we've got 4 up the front. So Warren Barguil, Lopez, De Weert, and Stockman, as well as Masajuk from Movistar, have all dropped off the breakaway. We are now left to Valentin Rateu from Total Energies, Aspern from Q36, Marco Frigo from NSN, and Arts from Lotto Intermarché. So that is who is left for the breakaway at the moment. The gap is 1 minute and 12 seconds on the peloton. And yeah, first crossage. The other rider that abandoned with Julian Alaphilippe is Jakob Eriksson of Tudor as well. So 2 Tudor riders have abandoned. That's unfortunate because Alaphilippe he abandoned the Etsulia on stage 6, was it? And I remember the commentator saying that apparently he abandoned the focus on the Ardennes. In the first Ardennes race, he's already abandoned. So, and then there's more riders that have also abandoned. Oh no, hold up. He's already What is going on here? Whoa, a lot more riders have been added to the list. So I knew about Morrow from Movistar, Schmidt from Ineos, and Van Beekem of Astana. Ben Tullett and Battistella from AF Education, they didn't start the race, but Alaphilippe, Jakob Eriksson, and Joel Suter from Tudor have all abandoned the race. There's 3 riders. And then Luca Giammi from UAE has also abandoned the race. So they're all dropping now. I thought Barguil was already retired. No, the team, the Picnic Post seem to bought a lot of the riders that are very old at the moment. There's a crash here. I thought it was Jorgensen. It's not. It's 144 for Visma. Who is that? Why can't I find Visma? 44. Husing. Menno Husing. Withard Philipsen as well from Lidl went down. So there's two riders that were going up. It was up a climb, so it was. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that climb. Of course, well, here it wasn't Jorgensen, so no alarms yet. But it was a touch of wheels potentially. It was a Red Bull rider that swerved off to the right hand side, and then he cut off the Visma rider Husing and Within Philipsen, and they went down, but the Red Bull rider didn't. Haven't done this in a week, so expect a lot of stuttering, even though I did that anyway without the break. But is that 3 now left in the breakaway? Yeah, we're down to 3. Valentin Retailleau from Total Energies is now dropped off. It's now Arts, Marco Frigo, and Asparin of Quickstep. Why do I keep calling it Quickstep? Q36, so the 3 riders left. The next climb is in the next 5 or 6 kilometers. The Kurderberg, that's what he said. But that is what is next. We've got about 5 or 6 kilometers of just normal road. But yes, a lot of riders are abandoning, and a lot of riders have, like I said earlier, a lot of riders have dropped the race before it even began. A lot of big names. But yes, let me have a quick look at this poll here. See what the early 11 votes. 64% think Remco, 18% think other. I would love to know what the other. 18%. Matteo Jorgensen, 9%. Skjelmose, 9%. I would. That's a shame. I prefer a stacked field. So do I. Well, I mean, it's always nice to see a stacked field, but with a race as big as Amstel and a start list that isn't as strong as it usually is, I'm actually quite excited to see what the teams are going to pull off and what's going to happen. So I am. Many riders don't care about this race or care about other big races. Yeah, well, I'm trying to think. Pogacar would have last year. He's not riding it this year. The only rider I think who is fit enough to ride all 3 and is only riding the 2 of them. Let me have but Paul Sexas, he isn't riding Amstel. He's riding Flesh and Liège. Christian Scaroni of Astana, he's not riding this. He's riding Flesh and Liège. Let me also have a look at Lenny Martinez is riding Flesh and Liège and not Amstel. So he's not. Kevin Vackland's riding all 3. Axel Laurence is riding all 3. So I think Ineos have got theirs sorted out. What has just happened there? Hold up, there's something happened in the breakaway. The NSN rider, he went onto the grass at the side of the road. Oh no, he went into the bike lane. He went round the roundabout and went into the bike lane. Plenty of those round on the. That's also how this became. Nickname for Jan Raas, who won it 5 times. Oh, but yes, Tour of the Alps as well, starting on Monday, and a lot of the Giro GC riders are in it. I've got a very small, I think it's about a minute long, just talking about the race and my prediction for it. So I'll put that up after the race at some point. But the gap now goes up to, it's a minute and 30 now for the peloton. 75 kilometers to go here. But a minute and 28, the peloton are sitting behind. They were about a minute and 9 seconds when they first crossed the finish line. So it's increased 30 seconds now. In about the past 10 kilometers. So it has. But like I was saying in the Tour of the Alps, the GC riders that obviously Jonas isn't riding it, but we've got Arnsman, Michael Storer, Derek G, and Pellizzari, as well as Ben O'Connor. I think there's one more. No, I think that's it. So we've got four of the big GC guys that are riding. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd say about four or five the GC guys that would look to be in the top 10 of the GC at the Giro are riding the Tour of the Alps. Pidcock's also riding it. So he is. Dark horse Tibor da Grosso. Yeah, my dark horse. Well, I wouldn't really. My dark horse was Paul Lapierre of Decathlon, but he crashed. So I don't know how he's doing after the crash. Apparently he's back in the peloton, but I don't know how he's going to be after crashing. But my hot take for it was that a Dutch rider is going to finish on the podium, and that has only happened once in the past 10 years, and that was 2019 when Van der Poel won it. So the Dutch don't seem to place well in this race in the past 10 years, especially on the podium. So I said Tibor da Grosso is gonna finish on the podium, if it be second or third. Don't think it'll be first. But yeah, he is the mechanic now, the F1 pit crew, after his tyre change on Paris-Roubaix for Mathieu Van der Poel. He was in the breakaway for the race there on Friday, the Brabantse. I don't know if that's actually how Google Translate told me that's how you say it. Like, so he was in the breakaway for that. I say the breakaway's in the favourites group up the front. And then they got caught with 1 kilometre to go. So where did he actually come? I don't actually know where he finished. 19th, so he got top 20 in that. So yeah, I'd be looking for a breakaway in this one. Yours is Tim Wellens because you have so much respect for him. Well, Tim Wellens has unfortunately dropped out the back. He won the Ronde van Limburg last week. Well, I don't know if the Ronde van Limburg. I've seen he won the NXT Classic. I don't know if that is the Limburg. Let me check if it does say. I don't know if that is the Ronde van Limburg. If someone could inform me on that. But I did see he won that NXT Classic, which he beat Mars Schmidt in. So that is obviously a good race to have won going into this. Oh, right, I'm right. All right. Sorry, let me just reply to this message. Right. They're showing an interview there of Cosnefar, who, like I said, is going to be UAE's main guy going into this. But it's the same race. All right, okay. Okay. That is all good. But yeah, he... why can't I? Oh, right, that's why. So the majority of the riders that were in the peloton, the majority of the riders that were in the breakaway at the start of the day, they've all been caught now, and it is just the 3 up the road remaining to be caught. So it is. Right. I started the team for minutes. Such a poor live coverage. We only get to watch 100 kilometers of the biggest cycling event in Holland. I'm actually surprised that just when you're talking about the calendar in general, I'm very surprised that there's only the one race in the Netherlands, and that is the Amstel Gold for like World Tour level. I'm talking about. I'm surprised it doesn't have like 1 or 2 extra. No, sorry, I'd probably say about 1 more, but I'm just surprised that there is only the one race, and it is the race that probably gets the, like I said, probably one of the weaker start lists of the year when it comes to a race of this size. So it is unfortunate if you are a Dutch fan and you go out and you live in the Netherlands and you're going to the races. But then again, it's right beside Belgium, so you can just take the trip over. But I'm sure you can get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, 100 kilometers is for the coverage. I mean, it doesn't really bother me, but I can understand why it would bother a lot of others. Because loads of people like to watch the race from the start. So they do. Let's be honest, Wellens is really just getting his miles in preparations for pulling Pog in July. Yeah, well, he did say in an interview before that he's not expecting much. He's only been on the bike training for 3 weeks, and he said he was happy to finish the race there on Friday. So that was the big positive for him. So after he said that, I wasn't really expecting much from him in this one. The Dutch love to pretend we have no cycling history. Also, the Dutch love elite. Alright, okay. 100%. You still respect today's winner, because with a race, like I said, of this size, with the winners that have won it before, you have to. The winner on Friday of the Brabantse Pijl, the Anders Voldagger of Jayco, he's riding it as well, and he seemed fairly confident for this race after his interview as well. He said, why can't they go on to win it? So he is another one to keep an eye out for. They're just showing the peloton here now with the Visma on the left-hand side at the front with 4 riders, Total Energies in the middle with 3 riders, and I think that's UAE on the right-hand side with 3. I didn't get a good look at the kit, but the kit is white. Flip 70 people on here. I will just 70 kilometers to go. So I will just say, if you do enjoy this type of stuff, don't forget to like the video as well as subscribe. I'm going to be live for Watchalong on Wednesday and Liège on Sunday, and then the Romandy as well. So don't forget to subscribe, stay up to date. Someone has just attacked out the front of the peloton there from Quickstep, I believe. I would like to know who it was. Prep and Rinderink attacked out the front a couple, I'd say about 20 kilometers ago. Maybe 25 kilometers ago. It was caught instantly, but who is that? They just said his name. He's a Dutchman, but there's only 3 for Quickstep. It's not Van Baarle. I'm going to assume it is Ankhorn. Is that how you pronounce it? Don't know, or it could be, I don't know. I don't actually know. All I know is he's Dutch. That is all I know. The commentator said at my ear, and I can't remember what his name was. Tim van Dijken has now dropped off the back of the peloton. His job for the day is finished. So it has. Nearly hit a car. That's great. But let me see if we've still got Arts, Marco Frigo, and Asperin up the front of the road. 56 seconds. So it was. Oh, don't go to a break, please. 68k, don't go to a break. Don't know if it's a break, but they're showing the countryside. The breakaway were a minute and 30 up the road, and now they are 56 seconds down. 56 seconds up the road, sorry. But where was I? Thank you for covering the race. No problem, Kevin. No problem. They call it VOC event. Van Barle is my dark. Is that who it was that attacked at the front? Was it Van Barle? If it was, that is, I just wouldn't have expected him to. But now that I do say his name, he does like a good attack at the front and going solo. Modern cycling for top riders. Don't start where they think they can't win or in preparation for something. That's why 3 weeks ahead. Evenepoel could easily join today's race. Such a pity. Oh, it's Pep and Rendering. Yeah, the race is like a mix of the both. And obviously, Van der Poel can win it because he's won it before, but it is a shame that you don't really get the big cobble guys riding it. But not this year, especially. You get obviously the punchier riders, but it can be definitely won by cobble guys. So it can. But it seems that the punchers have taken over on this one. Mo Van Aert obviously won it as well in 2021. But I will actually just mention, hold up, is that another abandon? More riders have abandoned the race. So Danny Van Poppel of Red Bull, Otto Vergarde of Little Trek, Van der Lee of AF Education, Lutsenko of NSN, and Kuzmin of Astana. So there's another 5 riders to add to the list of abandoned riders. I once saw, yes, have I biggest show back in 222. Yeah, fair enough. Anyone who rides any race ever, you have to give them respect, no matter what position they come. In the past, crowds used to cheer harder for the ones who drop. You always used to get them videos on. I always used to see the videos on Instagram of like when the favourites and all the pass, and it shows you the riders coming up the climb after doing the wheelies and all the crowd going nuts for them. I think they still do that, but it's just I know what you're saying when the crowds cheer harder for the ones who drop. Has Nasty Boy Evenepoel yelled at anyone yet? Not that I'm aware of, no. Yeah, it is. Pepijn Rendering is the rider for Quickstep who went up the front. He has now got, I'd say, about 15 seconds on the peloton, so he does. Matter of time, John. the Evenepoel hate has already started. It didn't take that. Well, like, to be fair, it happened a lot later than I expected for someone to mention that. So it did. Oh, crash. Is that a crash or is it like a hold up? Tim Wellens is back in the peloton now, so he's just at the very back of it. But it is a crash. Rider for Little Trek. Who is that? Skjelmose? Who is that? 4. Who's 4? Mosca. Jacopo Mosca. And then a rider from Jayco is down as well. Number 1 for... No, sorry, 145. Skjelmose. So 2 riders down there. Mosca from Little Trek and Skjelmose from Jayco. They're the 2 riders that went down. Unfortunately, Mosca doesn't look in good shape. He's holding his stomach in his rib area. Oh, but yes, I know. I don't. Sorry, I don't mean to hate. I can't. I do mean. Don't mean hate. I just meant the banter for Remco started. Had his own song for riding in the polka dot in the Tour de France class. Plenty of time for Remco. Crash Moscow. Yes, I when I first seen the guy on the ground, I thought it was Skjelmose. I was like, oh no, not already. I suspect 4 times out of 5 Remco would beat me. So Moscow's back on the bike, which is it's good to see. But the other riders that are riding this race that you need to keep an eye on, because obviously in the poll, let me have a check at the poll. 39 votes, 56% think Remco, 18 think Jorgensen, 5% think Skjelmose, and 21% are saying someone else to win it. I will go through the other riders that are taking part in this race. Now, when I said earlier that the start list is weakened compared to other years, there still are, like I said, riders that are good. So we've got Kosnefar of UAE, Tibor Del Grosso of Alpecin, we've got Peo Bilbao and Mohoric of Bahrain, but I don't think Peo Bilbao, maybe. I don't know. I think Mohoric will be more. Visma have Christophe Laporte and Jorgensen, you know it, but they've also got Christophe Laporte. Decathlon, Paul Lapera. Ineos Grenadiers have Kevin Vauquelin, Dorian Goudon, and Axel Laurent at this race. Groupama FDJ have Roman Gregoire. Let me have a look. Soudal Quickstep have Dylan Van Barle. Team J Coalula have Mauro Schmidt and Anders Foldager, who won the Brabants de Pau there on Friday. Uno X have Andreas Kron and Anton Charmig, I think it's Charmig or I don't know how to actually pronounce it, but Charmig, he was in the favourites group up at the front that got caught with 1 kilometre to go in the Brabants de Pau. Then obviously Q36 have Quinten Hermans, who came second at that race behind Anders Foldager. Cofidis have Alex Arambaru and Ian Izagiri at this race. Tudor, they had Alaphilippe, but he is unfortunately abandoned. But yeah, there are just a few of the names that are riding it, just in case you think I was talking about like there's literally no one else riding it apart from the 3 riders in the poll. But there still are a lot of good riders that are having good seasons. Mauro Schmidt, Roman Gregoire having brilliant seasons. So they are. Dorian Goudon on fire, Axel Laurent on fire, Kevin Vauquelin maybe not quite there yet, but he could still turn it around. Maybe at the Flèche Wallonne as well. He got second twice the past 2 years. Paul Lapierre has also done very well for Decathlon. Christophe Laporte, every classic he's rode in, he's finished in the top 10 that he has finished the racing. But yeah, that is just a few of the riders to name of that are riding it. We've got Asparin off Q36 is now dropping off the breakaway, so we're just left down to 2 now. So we went from 9 to 2 in about 30 kilometers. So we've got Arts of Lotto Intermarché and Marco Frigo of NSN. They're the last 2 remaining. More people have abandoned. No, that was just from earlier. Oh. Remco has another weapon in this race if he goes solo, that is. So far, Remco hasn't responded to my request for him to go one-on-one with me. Right, so you think the director of the race has got a card in his back pocket? Jorgensen needs a good result. Yeah, I do agree. I've actually seen a lot of people, obviously what is he in the poll? He's 16% in the poll, but I have seen quite a few people on TikTok and Instagram saying that, keep an eye on Jorgensen because he's Visma's main guy at this, and he missed out on all of the Cobble Classics this year. So his last race was Milano San Remo, so he's missed out on the lot. So he'll be looking for a good result at this one to kick him off. Is he riding the rest of them? I would like to think so. Yeah, he's riding Flèche, Liège, and the Tour Suisse. So yeah, you'll be wanting to start off this next part of his schedule with a bang. All hail the arrival of Abby. Keep riders who go solo out of the wind. The poll text was a nightmare to read on my phone, by the way. Well done, Aspirin. Yep. I had a feeling you would be cheering for Arts there, Johnny. Pepijn Reinder, I'll just give an update on the gaps here. So Pepijn Reinder is 44 seconds down on the two out the front. He's about to catch Aspirin here, and then the peloton is a minute and 37 down. So it has increased quite a lot. Well, I say it's increased about 30 seconds since the first time they crossed the finish line. 9-2 sounds like a Spurs result. Per Spurs. What is happening in the race? Well, not a lot. It's the breakaway that are doing the majority of the work. They did have 9 in the breakaway. Now they're down to 2. That is Arts and Marco Frigo. Pepijn Reinder attacked at the front of the peloton. This is his second attempt, and it's successful this time. But he's about 50 seconds on the peloton out the front. 45 seconds or 40 seconds down on the. I know he's a minute. He's a minute up the road on the peloton, and he's 42 seconds down on the breakaway. As for mechanicals and crashes, Paul Lapierre crashed before TV coverage started. I just know that he crashed, but apparently he's back on the peloton. And Dorian Goudon had a mechanical, and then getting back into the peloton, he had a puncture, so he had even more work to do. So hopefully he didn't use a lot of energy there. What is happening? Dutch. Hup is Dutch for Ali. All right, okay. I thought you were saying his first name. So I thought you were saying Arts' first name. Who's in the breakaway? Arts from Lotto Intermarché and Marco Frigo. Aspirin of Quickstep, or why do I keep saying Quickstep? Aspirin of Q36. He's the most recent rider to drop out of the breakaway. Arts and Frigo up front. 44 peloton a minute plus 130. LA, also English for LA. Yeah. So that is how the race is currently looking. If you wanted to know who the original riders were in the breakaway, let me see if I can find it, because it did say on. So the original riders, we had Stockman of the Unibet Rose Rockets. We had Valentin Ratalou from Total Energies. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but De Weert from Team Flanders, Lopez from Caja Real, and Warren Barguil of Picnic Post. They were the riders that were originally in the breakaway with. I think I'm missing one, but with that 3 that I did mention. Is Remco present near the front? Yeah, Red Bull have been at the front of the race. They were at the front of the race when the live TV coverage started, and then Rob Hatch said on commentary that they've been at the front of the race for like the entirety of the day. So Tim van Dijk has just dropped there. So he has. Or it's about 5 kilometers ago he dropped. So they are losing riders, but Remco has been at the front with Red Bull, and I think about 5 kilometers ago, it was Visma and Total Energies. I think Red Bull had a bit of a break, but I think they're still. I haven't seen the peloton. Haven't been focusing at the moment, but go Rockets! Yeah, a result for the Rockets at this would be very, very good. The wall sockets are back. When a rider attacking is taken back with a hand. Taken back by the peloton and did nothing. This might be. Okay, I think I get what you're talking about now. But they're showing the peloton now on the far. If you're looking at it head on, if you're looking at the peloton head on the far left hand side, we've got 5 Visma riders. We've got the zoom out. Of course, the zoom out. And I can only make out. I know Red Bull and Bahrain are there, but I think Red Bull. There's 4 teams at the front head on. Visma are on the far left hand side. I think UAE are on the far right, and I think Red Bull are just to the left of UAE with. Right, here we go. Yeah, so UAE's on the far right hand side with Red Bull to the left hand side of them, and then Visma's on the far left hand side with Bahrain to the right hand side of them. So they're the 4 teams at the front at the moment doing the work. The gap is a minute and 46. So the gap is growing with 70. I keep forgetting to change that. 57 kilometers to go. I'll just change that to 60k. Actually, I'm going to change it to 55 because no doubt I'll forget to change it to 50. But, right, Pep and Renwick, yeah. Well, he's near about 45 seconds. He's 51 seconds down on the two out the front, and he's a minute. Sorry. Two out the front, 57k to go. Pep and Renwick is 51 seconds behind him, and then the peloton is a minute and 46 behind the two up the front. So that is currently what the time gaps are looking like at the moment. What is next? The Lowerberg is next, so it is. They've got about 2 kilometers to the foot of it. 1.5 kilometers long, average of 5.4%. Over a minute. Shit, it's going to start. Lowerberg. Then we go down towards the Hulperberg. Let's go bring back Dutch Glory. So they've got the two at the front have got 1 kilometer now to the is it the Lowerberg or the Lure? I'll call it the what will I call it? The Lureberg, the Lowerberg. Yeah, I'll call it the Lowerberg. But are these guys coming back? Because I'm like, well, I like to hope so. When they first crossed the finish line, like I said, how long ago was that? About 20 kilometers. When they first crossed the finish line, they were a minute down, and now they're a minute and 45 down. I'm talking about the peloton. So in 20 kilometers, it's went up about 35 seconds. But with the teams that are at the front, Visma, UAE, I think the majority of the work will be people will be looking at Red Bull to do it just because of Evenepoel. But then I do think Remco's going to attack here and try and go solo. So I do. Funny we call it a berg when it's just a small hill. Did something happen to the favourites? No, nothing has happened to the favourites. The only, well, if you are just joining like I said, the only two names or the only two big names that I've heard something happen to are Dorian Gudon and Paul Lapierre. Gudon had mechanical puncture and Lapierre had a crash. That's about it. Whoa. A lot of people are abandoning the race now. But Alaphilippe has abandoned. Van der Lee of AF Education has abandoned. Van Poppel of Red Bull has also abandoned. Ben Tullett didn't start the race. Joel Tudor abandoned, but there's a lot of riders. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 have abandoned, 2 didn't start, so 16 overall. But here we go. We are on to the Lowerberg now. With Decathlon now moving to the front. Decathlon are at the front, dead centre of the peloton with three riders at the front. And they're putting in a big shift here. 55k to go, 55 seconds. Pepijn Renderink is down on the breakaway, and the peloton are closing the gap down pretty significantly now. It is now a minute and 38. I think it was a minute and 50 there a split second ago, but it is a minute and 39. They are when you do them 30 times. Yes, I agreed. But Groupama FDJ are moving to the front now. I'm actually expecting Roman Gregoire attacked in the Brabantse Pijl, so I'm expecting him to do another attack, and hopefully he's going to keep it away from the peloton this time, because it was brought back. But Uno X are moving to the front now. Cofidis are trying to move to the front, so a lot of the teams here moving to the front on the Lowerberg. Ian Izagiri is on the wheel off the Cofidis rider who's trying to bring Ian Izagiri to the front. But there's a rider from Groupama looks to be attacking out the front, does he? I don't know if he's attacking out the front, but he's out of the saddle putting a big sprint in here, but the peloton's going that quick behind him, he's going nowhere. He's got a small gap on the peloton with Uno X doing the work to try and bring him back. 2 riders for UnoX. Who is it? Andreas Kron is the second rider. There's only 2 for UnoX, and Andreas Kron is the second rider. The rider from Groupama has been caught. Right, let me see if I can read through this quickly. So, why so many abandons? Actually, I don't know why there are so many abandons, but Shooter have lost 3 riders already. That's called a half-pound burger over here. Surprisingly nasty, the legs to do these hills. It just cuts off blood flow. Last 50k now, we're going to go. Who still has the eggs? Finale time. Does a race like this. Small climb feed, nasty boys. Evenepoel delusion that he's a Grand Tour rider. No, it just helps him for the Liège, so it does. He got 3rd in his debut at this race last year, so like I said in my preview, he will have his eyes set on this one, with himself being the majority favourite. I think we're just used to these races getting active a little sooner with the aliens. Thanks for the update. Sounds like we got action. Here we go. Per strand dropped. Yes, indeed. Right, so let me see. Back on the race. Groupama FDJ are at the front. Red Bull are now, they've making an appearance on the left-hand side of the road. Remco Evenepoel was on the wheel of the rider at the front, but he has dropped off a bit. He's trying to get onto the wheel. Was that a shake of the head, or was that like a nod? Laporte now on the left-hand side, bringing Jorgensen up. So we have 2 riders from Visma on the left-hand side. Laporte and Jorgensen, 2 riders on the front. 3 riders on the front from Red Bull, apologies. Sorry, Remco sat in 3rd. I thought he was 2nd, that's someone else. But Remco sat on 3rd wheel of his teammates. So they have... I've just seen that, Shelley. The 97 now. I was like, what's the weather like? Dry. It is. I don't know about temperature or anything, but it is dry. I think there was a bit of rain. They were talking about rain earlier in the commentary, but the roads are dry at the moment. But I will say, with 97 people in here, if you do want 100 people in here now, wow. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm live for Flesh on Wednesday and Liège on Sunday. And I'm live for every other World Tour race I can possibly go live for. So don't forget to subscribe and stay up to date. But yes, 52 kilometers left in the Amstel Gold Race 2026, the 60th edition. And it does seem to be all kicking off here with all the teams fighting for position. Showing a bird's eye view here, so with 3 Red Bull at the front, like I said earlier, with Remco in 3rd wheel, 2 for Visma. They are Christophe Laporte and Jorgensen. They're now showing the descent here is now wet. The ground's wet on this descent, so I think it was raining. It's not raining, but I think it was raining. So there are parts of the road that are wet. Remco going through all his teammates in a minute. Well, he's only got 2 left. The gap is now 1 minute and 10 seconds. So on the Lohrberg there, they shaved off 35 seconds on the breakaway. Pepijn Reinderink is at 59 seconds, so he's 10 seconds up the road on the peloton, and at 59 seconds down on Arts and Marco Frigo of NSN. Arts is obviously riding for Lotto Intermarché, but there are the time gaps. Peloton now are in the distance of the Pepijn Reinderink Lone Chaser group. 51k to go. Let me have a quick look at it's official. Pepijn is it the Patat? Is that how you say it? 57 votes on the poll. 56% think Remco Evenepoel are getting it, 16% think Jorgensen, 7% think Skjelmose, and 21% are going for other. So that is what the poll is currently looking like at the moment. Pepijn Patat, I'll keep that one. Right, we've got the big one up next. The Hutberg. There's a rider, Bob Jungels, dropping off the back off the peloton here. So Ineos, is that Gudon? Gudon is also pulling off to the side of the road there for Ineos. Is that another mechanical? He unclipped his pedals there, but there's Reinderink caught by the peloton now. Remco still does have They're replaying Bob Jungels' bike change with Dorian Gudon. Must be a puncture maybe, but Gudon's back on the bike, but he's on Bob Jungels' bike now. He would obviously, if it did become a peloton sprint or a bunch sprint at the end, Ineos would be betting on him, but he's... Christophe Laporte pushing Remco there. He put his hand on the back of Remco and gave him, I don't know if he pushed him or was trying to move him out of the way, but Remco sat up with his hand off the handlebar and turned around to say, what are you doing, mate? So he's given, I think it was a tap, let me see. Remco moves over to the right-hand side to try to join his teammates. Nearly cuts Laporte off. Laporte puts his hand up to say, here, mate, you're about to cut me off here. And Remco, I can't wait to say what's said in the chat here about Remco, but hand off the handlebar, and he didn't look too happy. But Remco does have 3 riders. I thought he only had 2 remaining. There's another one that has appeared. So he's got 3 left. But 2 riders for Ineos are there, 2 for Groupama. Visma lost a bit of their position in there on that corner, but Jorgensen seems to be moving back up on his own. Laporte seems to be blocked off just in the middle of the peloton. Remco tried stealing his spot and blames Laporte. But the peloton here is stretched out massively. It is like single file for the majority of the peloton. Actually, I know, I'll take that back. I've just got a better look of it. I'd say they're about 2 or 3 wide, but it stretches out quite a lot. So it does. $48k to go. The peloton are now 59 seconds down on Arts and Marco Frigo. So we've got the next 3 climbs here are the big ones. The Hupperberg, which the breakaway have just hit here. 0.9 kilometers long, and it has an average of 5.6% and a maximum of 15.8%. So this is going to be a massive one, as Marco Frigo looks to be attacking Arts here and dropping him. Camera's now back on the peloton with Red Bull leading Remco onto the Hupperberg here. Remco sat in 3rd wheel. That other teammate that joined them must have just dropped off instantly. But Jorgensen on his own for Visma. Seems to be left up to him. There's a rider for Tudor here that I'm not sure who it is, but Arts is now dropped from Marco Frigo. Let me see if I can try and work out who it would be for Tudor, because I've lost Alaphilippe's Mark Hirschi. Apologies, Mark Hirschi. It would be him. Yeah, it is him. I recognise him now. I've just right. So this is them under the Hupperberg. I'm going to look at the chat because I've seen a lot about Remco here, but Jorgensen is at the front of the peloton here at the Hupperberg. Remco's still got 2 teammates in front of him, so Remco is looking fairly comfortable, but Jorgensen is on his own on the left hand side. He sat side by side with the second rider of Red Bull, but the rider at the front for Red Bull is like shaking all over the road here, putting in a massive effort. Roman Gregoire is on the wheel of Remco. I think that is Skjelmose. Is that Little to the left of Remco? Is it Skjelmose? No, it's not. Skjelmose is behind Roman Gregoire. There's another teammate for Little there. So Skjelmose has got a teammate. Right, let me get him out already. Remco, there's still 50 kilometers to go. Calm. Remco acts like an Arsenal fan after. Now it's full out. Best not ask the meaning of many involves. Remco is on his boiling point and ready to blame everyone. Well, I mean, if you look at the race, this is Remco's race to lose. So I assume there would be quite a lot of pressure on him, because he is like the biggest name at it. I'm sure you can work it out. Do I need to bury Kill the Cat too? Yeah, Arts has dropped. Come on, Remco, we believe in you. You can outshout them all. Now the splits come. Yeah. So they have 51 seconds down on the breakaway. Marco Frigo is going clear here on his own. Del Grosso. I'm waiting to see, because they keep swapping between the. I need to get a good look here at the peloton to see who's left. All I know is Hirschi, Jorgensen, Skjelmose, he has a teammate. Remco has 2 teammates with him, which I think one is Trotnik. Pardon me. Arts can see Marco Frigo up the road. I'd say there was a gap between 5 to 10 seconds. But they've done the Hoppeberg. It is now onto the Kreisberg next. So it is. That is the next climb to come. It is within the next 2 kilometers. But no, Red Bull only have Remco has only got 1 teammate left, but the peloton seems to be coming back together now. Ineos have 3 riders there, which I'm going to assume 2 of them are Watchalong and Amstel, as they are now moving to the front. Ineos, that is. Alpecin have 2 riders, Groupama have 3 riders. Jorgensen is still the only rider there for Visma. There's a rider from Bahrain now who's just moved right to the front of the peloton. I don't know if he's looking to attack. I think it's Mohoric. Yeah, it looks like Mohoric. He moved to the front there and reached for a gel and then just like sat up and they swallowed by the peloton. But Quickstep are also there. I see an Astana rider, NSN. But the big the main teams with a lot of riders there are Groupama, Ineos, Red Bull. The main team there with more than 2 riders are Groupama and Ineos. Red Bull have 2, and Little Trek have 2. That's at the front of the peloton. That's what I'm talking about. Frigo would be smart to wait for Arts in the flat parts. Well, the gap is now 16 seconds from Marco Frigo to Arts, so I think dropping back now. I think he's going to get caught anyway. He's about to hit the Kreisberg here, but I think dropping back now he would get caught quicker. I think he's just prolonging the inevitable now. Is Del Grosso Alpecin's number 1? Yeah, he is. He would be there. He would be their main guy going for this one. Sure, he was the main guy for the Brabantse, but they also have Verstringa as well, and Busato as well for Alpecin. But I think Tibor Del Grosso he's their main guy. He's wearing the number 1. But there are splits of peloton. There's a bunch together, and then behind them there's a big line of riders, but with a gap of a couple seconds. Like they should close it, but there's a big bunch together. Uno X, I see 3 riders. Little Trek has Soren Kragh Andersen in front of Skjelmose. 44 kilometers to go. I'm going to change this to 40 kilometers because I will forget. So I will. Do I cycle myself? I don't actually. I used to cycle when I was younger, but I just watch it now. I just like watching it. It is an expensive sport it's an expensive sport to watch and partake in. And just the roads from where I'm from are lethal, so they are. But I don't, so don't. So they're showing a bird's eye view here with Roman Gregoire at the front. He's second wheel with a teammate in front of him. 3 riders for Ineos, 93 and 95, as well as Watchalong. So let me have a look. 93, Jack Haig and Axel Laurent are the 2 riders for Ineos there. Skjelmose still has Soren Kragh Andersen. Quinn Simmons is now moving up there. I just got a glimpse of him at the back on the left hand side of the peloton. He now moved wide there to try and move up. When did I start my channel? I started it at the... Good question. I plan to do it. I plan to do it in about November, end of October, November time is when I planned it. I said, right, I'm going to do this, but then I didn't create the channel or anything to January. I said I'd wait till the season, so started it in January and then did the Tour Down Under, which I stayed up till 4 a.m. for all of the stages, which was very fun. So it was I stayed up because I wanted to get the streams under my belt, so I stayed up, but literally I was talking to myself the whole stream, and rightly so, because I was crazy enough to step to 5 a.m. for the whole week. But yeah, I thought of it October, November time, and I didn't start the channel until January. So that was the plan, was to start it when the season started. But 43k to go. Uno X and Ineos at the front. Right. Yes, it's much easier when living in the Netherlands. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to. I would love to get on the bike and go to the likes of Belgium, and I would still cycle. Don't get me wrong, but where I'm from, you leave the house and you hit a pothole, and it is an expensive an expensive fix. But we're on the Kreisberg here with Roman Gregoire attacking out the front, and Ineos trying to follow. It is Kevin Vacquelin trying to follow, Jorgensen in the back as well, out of the saddle, but 4 riders off the front. 3 riders off the front. Roman Gregoire with a gap to Vacquelin and Evenepoel, and then a gap to Uno X and Jorgensen. Here's it for Uno X. I'm gonna guess it's Skjelmose now comes around the right hand side of the Uno X rider, round the right hand side of Jorgensen, but we're getting it lit up here now. Why did I say that? The race is lighting up now. Roman Gregoire is the first one to go. Everyone responds. So here we go. That's good. That is good. Let me why haven't we spoke about Quinn Simmons? Is he riding for someone else? Yeah, I think he's riding for Skjelmose. Just there's Arts being caught by this group now. 37 seconds are down on Marco Frigo. Evenepoel is at the front. Skjelmose on the wheel. Gregoire third. Jorgensen in 5th with Vacquelin in 4th. Do I have a favourite rider / team? Years ago, I don't have. I was actually speaking to my dad about that last night. My favourite rider was always Mark Cavendish and Alberto Contador. They were my 2 favourite riders. At the moment, I don't really. I like a bunch of riders. I don't really have a main favourite. If I had to pick a team, I would probably say, I don't know why, Little Trek. I just like Little Trek. I always like their kits. And Little Trek, obviously. I like Mads Pedersen and Jonathan Milan and Wana Yusu, so I guess I would pick them. But this year, I've been loving Ineos and I've been loving Decathlon. I think they've both been brilliant. So they have. But I've a soft spot for a lot of teams. I obviously have UAE are obviously a team. It's not like it's not like that I hate them or don't like them. I just they win all the time, so you just always like vote against them not to win. Right. Never understand. Uno X Tactics, Red Bull and Visma should. Yeah, I guess you're right. Uno X should be waiting. 41k to go. Oh, Kevin Vacquelin crash. Jorgensen over the top of him. Oh! Oh, no. That's not what you want to happen. Vacquelin down. Vacquelin skids going around the corner. Jorgensen straight over the top of him. And Art straight over. Vacquelin's back on his bike. But Jorgensen does look rough here. Ah. That's not what you want. Jorgensen's helmet is off as well. Oh. No damage was done to Vacquelin because he, going around the corner, he just loses grip and slides. But Jorgensen straight over the top, over the handlebars, and Art straight over the top as well. Yeah, Jorgensen's helmet is off, but it didn't come off on that crash, which is good. Ah. Jorgensen's still lying on the ground. Arts is sat up beside a tree. Got it. Got it for him. I hope the pair of them are alright. Ah. Right, where was I in the chat? I know. I found you because Johnny was in here, and I don't know how Johnny found you. I found him after Strata. I think Strata was the biggest race that I'd done was the Jebel Mobra in the UAE tour. Mark Hirschi's down as well. Ah, they're all dropping. Mark Hirschi's down. He's sat at the side. He's not back up. I think that'll be his race over. But with 3 out the front, with 40k to go, Remco, Gregoire, and Skjelmose. That's just not what you want, like. Love the Tour Down Under just because it's on at a civilized time here. Had to get up at 4 a.m. again today. Yay, Cav. Yeah, I've loved Cav growing up, and I think the best race I watched, I think the Wout van Aert Paris-Roubaix was second, close first, like, but that Cav breaking the record was, I literally ran about the living room screaming. Uno X Tactics ride like madmen. Agreed. Where's Tebow? Sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat. Big crash, yes. Jorgensen gone. Cav, Little Trek. Retail store about 6. ugly crash. That is going to curse the Remco group. What caused it? What happened with Watchalong going around the corner? Watchalong's wheels he just skidded and went straight along the ground. He wasn't injured because he's only skidded, and well, it's obviously going to hurt, but he skidded along the ground. But the two riders, Arts and Jorgensen, both went over the top of him, over the handlebars, and they got the worst of it. Matteo, my guy. Watchalong missed the corner. A lot of crashes. Blimey, carnage. Anyways, Tibor's a bit slow. He's always going to comes from the back. Could Tibor win this? He has too much class. He does not worry ever. If they keep crashing, yeah. So they've got they're showing here the group that is chasing, but they don't seem to be chasing with a lot of effort. I think there's a rider for Cofidis leading them out here, but Marco Frigo now about to get caught by the Skjelmose group. It's actually good. Last year, the three up the front were Skjelmose, Evenepoel, and Pogacar, and this year's Skjelmose, Evenepoel, and Gregoire. Gregoire's the new Pogacar. And Gregoire was the first to attack like Pogacar last year, so... Did Jorgensen give up? Well, I wouldn't say give up. Oh, sorry. Did Jorgensen abandon? But then it translates on my screen that did Jorgensen give up? I think Jorgensen has abandoned, yeah. He was lying on the ground here after the crash, and he wasn't moving. He took his helmet off and everything, so I think that is his race done, unfortunately. I think the same for Arts as well. And Mark Hirschi crashed as well. If Mark Hirschi abandons, that'll be 4 riders for Tudor that have abandoned this race. So it will. But that's so unfortunate with what happened. Would have had a group. Watchalong, I don't even know if he's in that group chasing. Bobby switching colours immediately. Austria and Gregoire as well. I'm waiting for the one for Evenepoel to come through, Bobby. I'm gonna wait for that one. But Gregoire is leading out he's at the front. Skjelmose in second wheel now, and Evenepoel sat in third wheel. Skjelmose could be Remco's biggest nightmare after today. Well, if we do get a repeat, I mean, if I was to pick who I want to win out of this situation, I'm going to go for Gregoire. Like, I loved him in the Strade Bianche. I think he was, and he's been a brilliant watch as well with all the attacks he's been doing. But, yeah, if I had to pick, it'd be Romain Gregoire for me. Marco Frigo, still 16 seconds up the road. Still. Nah, not for Remco. I want to see an underdog win. Fair enough. I thought there was just some, hidden agenda there. But yeah, right, so the group behind, the chasing group behind, which are, right, so Marco Frigo's up the front, 37 kilometers to go, 17 seconds down, Skjelmose, Evenepoel, and Romain Gregoire, and then 32 seconds down, so 16 seconds behind the Evenepoel group. PCS are updating it here, so it's Kra Andersen, Within Philipsen, both of Little Trek, then Peo Bilbao of Bahrain, Van Seven, whatever way you pronounce it, the rider for Quickstep, Mari, I'll call him Mari, if that's even how you pronounce it, but Mauro Schmidt as well in this group, and Ian Izagiri. There's more than 6 more have updated. For Stringer as well from Alpecin, as well as Cosnefar from UAE. They have just been added to the group. So I think there is a bit more than 8, but it is updating. Whereas Schmidt is 32 seconds down. So he is. Remco 13 seconds down. These 3 riders on the Marco Frigo up the front. But this is some shift from Marco Frigo, the Italian. A very big display from him. Going solo here, 36k, and he's been in the breakaway all day as well. You can see the 3 behind them now. But I will change this to 35 kilometers to go now. There's 36 if you're looking for specifics, but 36 kilometers to go. 9 seconds now. 11 seconds, so it's just changing, but they should be caught, or Marco Frigo should get caught eventually. Yeah, so the group behind 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 riders in this group, and PCS have only got 8, so there's still 3 riders that need to be named. But it is a group of 11. Hopefully this group of 11 does catch the 3 up the front and make it a bit more interesting here. Because, could you imagine that? Skjelmose, Evenepoel, Gregoire, Watchalong, and Jorgensen all up the front. What could have been? Frigo is underestimated. Well, he has just been caught there now by Remco Evenepoel as they do hit the Fromberg. So Marco Frigo moves straight to the back of this group. I would love to see him stay with this group for as long as possible. Do a stand the wolf. That'd be a massive performance. So it would. But the Iser Bosweg has already been completed, so we're on to the I completely forgot. Usually I say the climb, but I completely forgot to mention it. But we're under the Fromberg now. 1.6k long, has an average of 3%. The chasing group with Mauro Schmidt at the front, leading it. Mauro Schmidt and Kostnefar are trying to bring it back. Right, they're getting it updated now, so Remain from, is that Alpecin? I'm waiting for the whole thing to be updated. Alex Bodin of EF Education's in there. Lorenzo Germani from, I don't know what team that is, but he's in there. Van Sevenum. That's Rob has just pronounced it that way, so I don't know if he had a great Giro 2 years back when Healy won stages. Well, I did click on his profile there. I seen he got two second place finishes in the Vuelta, 25 and 24, and then he got third on the stage at the Giro in 23. So he has got good results, but this is a big show from him. With Ian Izagiri now moving to the front of this chasing group, with that is I don't know, a rider from Alpecin. I'm not sure if it is Remain. Is that Remain or Verstringe? Don't know which one it is. Ian Izagiri still in form. Yeah, he is. He's doing brilliant. So he is. Who's pulling the Remco group? Remco. Well, it is Skjelmose at the front now. Remco sat in second, but Remco did bring back Marco Frigo. As Remco now moves to the front, he got out of the side? I thought he was attacking there, but he was out of the saddle there for a second. But it has been Remco doing the majority of the work, and rightly so. I was wondering about Izagiri. Yep, well, he's still there. I genuinely thought it would have been Aaron Baru for Cofidis, but Ian Izagiri still in great form from the Etsulia. And the winner of the Miguel Indurain race. The car coming up behind Remco. Just with all the stuff with the cars and bike races, they are a bit hectic, so I didn't expect them to break there. But if you are just joining, we do have a group of 4 up the front. Roman Gregoire, Skjelmose, Remco and Marco Frigo, who was in the break but has been caught. He was in the break for the majority of the day. We did have a much larger group at the front, but unfortunately Kevin Vacquelin crashed going around the corner, and Jorgensen went over the top of him, and I think Jorgensen has abandoned. He didn't get up. There hasn't been any news of him abandoning the race, but I think everyone watching could sort of guess that he was going to abandon it. But Arts as well from Lotto Intermarché, who was in the break, he was another rider that crashed in that Vacquelin crash. And then Mark Hirschi of Tudor went down. Don't know if he was involved in that crash, but it showed him at the side of the road. When do I predict the Remco attack? Good question. Very good question. I don't actually know. Both Remain, is that how you pronounce it? Remain. I know he's the favourite or near favourite in a lot of races, but I feel Remco always does too much work. Remco waits to the last Cowberg perhaps. Need to go solo early. Yeah, he will if he wants to not lose in a sprint again to Skjelmose. Oh, Remco attack off the front here on this climb. The Keutenberg. No, he's out of the saddle, but Roman Gregoire isn't letting him go anywhere. Skjelmose in third wheel and Marco Frigo on the back, but Remco is at the front here, out of the saddle. But it doesn't seem to be a big enough attack to drop anyone, but they are all out of the saddle. 1.3 kilometers long, 6.2% average, and a maximum of 16%. But Remco here is setting the pace, and he's setting a very high pace as well. Marco Frigo is now getting gapped. He is dropping off the back here, so, fair play to Marco Frigo. That was a brilliant display in the breakaway, but he's now gone, unfortunately. So we're down to 3. You can see the chasing group in the distance on the climb as well. The gap is now 17 seconds for the chasing group. But Remco out of the saddle yet again. Roman Gregoire still in second, and Skjelmose is still in third wheel. And Remco hasn't shook any of them. He checks behind them to see if the pair of them are still there, and they are. Kosnefar now leading the chasing group here, with a rider from Groupama. Costu. Oh, the chasing group is half, more than half. There's 5 riders in the chasing group. Kosnefar, Costu of Groupama. There's a rider from EF Education, which would be Alex Boudin. A rider from Quickstep, and Little, which would be Within Philipsen, because Kra Anderson's in the Danish jersey. So the Little rider's Within Philipsen. Who is the Quickstep rider? Van Sentiment. That is the chasing group of 5 that are now 22nd, 21. Oh no, sorry, they haven't even got the time up for the. That is Group 3. So Group 3 is 21 seconds down. That's Kra Anderson, Verstringe, Peo Bilbao, Mara Schmidt, and Ian Izagiri. Wow, I'm surprised Ian Izagiri dropped. I wonder what happened, because he was looking very good. No need to go to agree. Remco should wait for the last climb. Where's Verstringe and Del Grosso? Del Grosso, I don't know. I don't know where Del Grosso is, but Verstringe is in Group 3. 30 seconds according to 21 seconds according to the TV. Well, here they are now. Well, no, sorry, not Verstringe now with Mara Schmidt. Ian Izagiri dropped, and Peo Bilbao and Krander. I would love to know what happened to Ian Izagiri. But there are 3 riders chasing the Kosnefar group. The 2 opposite boys, Verstringe and Remain, and then Mara Schmidt as well is chasing the 5 riders up the road, Within Philipsen, Kosnefar, Alex Boudin, Costu, and Van Sentiment, and then the 3 riders with Marco Frigo in between these 2 groups of Skjelmose, Evenepoel, and Gregoire. I tried to explain that in as best English as I could. Who's pulling in the second group? Kosnefar. Kosnefar is doing a lot of the work in the second group. They've just passed Marco Frigo now. He'll be looking to get onto the back of that group. Is he? No, I think he's getting dropped. Kosnefar, Frigo can come back in the next group. No Dutchies left anymore. Is Remco yelling at Roman and Matthias? Remain, he's in Group 3, so he is, with Verstringe and Mara Schmidt. It would be great if Verstringe did well today. Yeah. But the only Dutch one left is, I don't even think I'm pronouncing his name, Remain. Senna, Remain. I think that's how you pronounce it. But 20 years old. Flip 20, jeez. 2006. Oh. But he is the only remaining Dutch rider left that PCS have noted. Today's real winner is Abby. She took $10 for your Colin Wellens. I think she's going to see me for my streaming services. She's seeing you for your streaming services and your awful bets. Emil is doing the work for Remain. 25 seconds of so Kosnefar and the group of 6 there. I think Marco Frigo is with them. Yeah, he is. He was able to stay under that group, so it's a group of 6. They're 25 seconds down on Evenepoel and Skjelmose and Roman Gregoire. 30 kilometers to go. Let me change this. 105 people in here. Jeez. I will just say, whilst there's 105 people in here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well as like the video. It does mean a lot. And like I've said countless times, I'll be live for Flèche Wallonne and Liège-Bastogne-Liège next week, and live for every World Tour race I can possibly go live for the rest of the season. That is the plan. So if you do enjoy this type of stuff and you want to stay up to date, Don't forget to subscribe. Earthquake in the house. But Skjelmose now at the front of this group of 3 round the bend. Hopefully no issues. No issues on the bend. So it's Skjelmose, Remco and Gregoire. That is the order of the front 3. Let Emil ride for himself. Congrats. Congrats on the century. Final K. Oh, right. That's what I was confused. I support all cyclocross riders on the road. Fair enough. Fair enough. So the gaps, all I know is the gap, according to the TV, the Cosnefroid group, including 5 other riders, Marco Frigo, Van Sevenant, Costio, Alex Boudin and Within Phillips, and they are 24 seconds down on Remco, Skjelmose and Gregoire. According to PCS, the group of Remain, Verstringa and Maro Schmidt are 27 seconds down. But you can't, that would mean then, according to PCS, they're 4 seconds behind Cosnefroid group, but you can't see them in the distance when it does show the Cosnefroid group. I will wait to see. I did notice it, but I will wait to see the next time the camera's on the Cosnefroid group. So we will see what happens here. I'm going to try and get my Watchalong preview out tonight. So I am. Still need to record it, so I will try and get it out. I was going to record it before Amstel, but then a lot of stuff came up and I wasn't well and stuff like that, so I didn't get a chance to record it. And I'm still not well, but I mean, I will record it. I'll try and record it after this and get it uploaded for tonight. If not tonight, it'll be tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that, because the race is on Wednesday, and it is a pretty decent start list for that as well, because it will be Remco Evenepoel versus Paul Sexas. What's the next race I'm covering? Watchalong. It'll be Watchalong. I don't think I'm going to cover the Tour of the Alps. I don't think so. I think I might just do Watchalong and Liège. If I was to do the Tour of the Alps, it would probably be I think there's one mountain finish stage, so I'll think about doing it, but I'd rather just do the Watchalong and I'll obviously be doing the Tour of the Alps stage when the Watchalong's on, but it'll be Watchalong and Liège, the 2 main ones I'm doing next, and then the Tour of Romandy as well after that, and then Giro d'Italia's coming up as well. Eschborn Frankfurt as well. But we're not long to go now to the first Grand Tour, and I'm buzzing for it. I am buzzing. Why does Skjelmose keep riding with Within Phillips in that next group? But maybe because there's someone in the group that Skjelmose is afraid of in a sprint. I think Skjelmose would rather have a smaller group for a sprint than because if you add Within Phillipson, maybe Within Phillipson could sprint, but maybe Skjelmose wants to defend the race. But if they come back, that'll be a group of 9 now, and your odds of winning drastically decrease. Your shorts are the only shorts I watch. That sounded better. Don't even. Brilliant. I read it and I was like, what? But thanks for watching. Thanks for keeping an eye on my shorts there, Kat. Who looks the best of the 3? Well, when they were doing the Keutenberg, Evenepoel looked comfortable at the front. I'd maybe Roman Gregoire, when they were all out of the saddle on that last climb, Roman Gregoire maybe looked to be a bit shaky on the bike, like movement on the bike. Skjelmose looked good behind, so I'd say I don't want to say the weakest out of them on that last climb was Gregoire, but I think the most comfortable is Remco. Sort of. Did I watch the Gran Camino? I only watched I didn't watch like the live races. I watched the highlights. I thought that race yesterday with Pinarello, Yates, what do you call him? Nordhagen and Romeo. I thought that climb for the final bit, I thought that was brilliant. Thought it was very fun. But I didn't watch the races live. I was just watching the highlights of it. Same for that race in the Riccatello one. I watched the highlights for it. Decathlon got 1 and 2 in it. The Tour de Jura Cycliste. So it did. Gregoire has cost you. Yeah, he does. So yeah, I suppose if the group does come back, the 2 teammates, but I think Skjelmose will want to keep the group as small as possible. I'm cheering for Skjel, but I think it will be Remco. Yeah, that's fair enough. Everybody cheers for Kosnefroy. Who's putting in most of the work in the first 2 groups? So in the second group, chasing, the camera hasn't really been on them much, but when it has been on them, Kosnefroy has been doing a lot of the work. They were showing a helicopter view of the group there, but they were like ants, so I couldn't see them. But when it has been on it, Kosnefroy has been doing a lot of the work to try and bring them back. And in the front group, I'd say Gregoire has been doing the least. I say that he's at the front now, but I'd say it's been fairly equal, with Remco maybe taking a bit more than the rest. I may have to concede that Remco may win this. But here, do you think about last year, Pogacar and Evenepoel with Skjelmose, and I think everyone was saying it's going to be one of them, and Skjelmose won it, so it's not over until Skjelmose says it's over. I think that is what he's. What was? I've just had a complete mind blank there. So Senna is going to catch them. Remco and Matthias don't want company. He's doing a lot of the work. Is Remco commenting on who has or who does not have? No, he hasn't done that yet. I think he'll be waiting until after the race. Let's go, Senna. Give your F1 pace. So we're 23 kilometers to go. 26 seconds the group behind is now. I'll change. Look at the crowds here. Brilliant. Brilliant. The Kalberg. So they're under the Kalberg now for the second to last time. There's one more time after this, but they're on it now. And Roman Gregoire is leading them onto it, with Evenepoel sat in second, Skjelmose in third wheel. But look at the crowds here. This is brilliant. So Mauro Schmidt, Romain and Verstringer have also caught onto the second group. So the group for second, or the second group has gotten even bigger. 9 riders in that now. And that includes Withen Philipsen, Kosnefroy, Alex Boudin, Costu, Marco Frigo, Van Sevenen, Romain, Verstringer and Mauro Schmidt. As Remco now goes to the front and looks to do an attack, Skjelmose is straight to the wheel. Roman Gregoire sat in third. Remco sits back down. But looking over his shoulder, sees that they're still there with him. Gets out of the saddle again, Remco. And I think Roman Gregoire looks to be struggling a bit here. Yeah, is he gapping? Yeah, there's a gap being created. 1 or 2 bike lengths between Roman Gregoire and Skjelmose. Yeah, Gregoire's gone. It's down to 2 here. Remco looks over the shoulder, sees Gregoire has dropped, but also does see that Skjelmose is the only one left on his wheel. Got it. Got it that Roman Gregoire's dropped. I love him to come on. I want him to get back on here. Would love him to get back on. The gap is 31 seconds for the chasing group now. With both Alpecin riders dropping off the back after getting on. Mauro Schmidt is also dropping off the back. So the 3 riders that made it back on have now all, I'd say there's about one and a half bike lengths from Mauro Schmidt to Marco Frigo at the back of this race. He's brought it back. But Kosnefroy is still at the front. Alex Boudin in the wheel. Withen Philipsen sat in third wheel. But it is Boudin and Kosnefroy doing the work at the front. The gap is massive now for Gregoire to the 2 at the front. It is a lot bigger now. Skjelmose, damn. Imagine riding the Kalberg and getting passed by a postman on a bike. Both Remco and Skjelmose are handy in a sprint, but I favour Remco. Skjelmose now moves to the front of this duo. You can still see Romain Gregoire in the distance. The TV gap says 11 seconds. Yikes. 11 seconds already. But Skjelmose he's channeling his inner Pogacar with the hair sticking out the helmet, as he is leading out Remco here on this on the Kouberg. But they're showing the camera was on the pair of them there, and Remco went to the front of the group and was right behind the motorbike. So the massive draft they're getting from that, Romain Gregoire doesn't have a bike in front of him. See the motorcycles and the whole draft thing. I've seen there was a big discussion about it, but Gregoire has no motorbike in front of him, and at the top of that climb there, with about Remco just moved to the front, latched onto the back of that motorbike there, and got a massive draft. But Skjelmose is at the front now. Gregoire's in the distance. I'd say the gap between them is maybe 150, 200 meters, but they are about to cross the line here now for the last time before the finish. As Skjelmose crosses the line first, I'll wait for exact time. So the time started now. Hopefully they show the camera when Gregoire crosses the finish line. Yep, Romain Gregoire crosses the line. He is 12 seconds down, so he is. Remco choking Gregoire. It's like I'm watching last year's race, except Pogacar isn't there. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, you obviously can't control it, but it would have been great to see Watchalong and Jorgensen there. Specifically Watchalong. I would love to have seen what he would have done on this. But the group chasing there, just about to cross the finish line as well, with Mauro Schmidt leading this group out, with Bodin in second and Kosnefar in third. We're going to get the exact time now. They are currently 51 seconds down. So the Aero Bullet is a bike. Orders from the motor stuff is becoming a serious issue, but that's a prime example of it. Like I usually, when people talk about it, you go, right, well, it's within, it's expected in cycling and stuff. I would say that, but seeing it there, you could see Remco, because Remco was behind Skjelmose and he deliberately moved to the front, and you seen the speed. You seen the speed of him. And then the bike then sped up. He was literally right behind the bike. So he got a massive draft off it. And then you seen in the distance Romain Gregoire with no bike in front of him. So it gives them that extra bit. But then again, it is the motorbike shouldn't be that close to begin with. So it shouldn't. Always has been, but people are starting to notice. Safe to say it's between Skjel and Remco. Yeah, I think. Well, the gap is 10 seconds according to the TV, so it's went down 1 second. Does Remco have any chance of dropping Skjelmose on the climbs before the finish? I don't know, because Skjelmose does look good here. I'm not gonna lie, he does look very comfortable. And I was actually questioning Skjelmose. We're under the next climb here, which is I'm not even gonna try the Gulhammerberg. That is the next climb, but the crowds on this one. 0.9 kilometers long and has an average of 5.6%. Skjelmose leads him onto it. Remco is now side by side with him as he moves to the front of these two now. But as I was saying about Skjelmose, I didn't have a lot of faith in him just because of the Etsulia. He did look good in it, and then there was that stage he dropped off and you didn't really see much of him. But I suppose riding the Etsulia has prepared him enough for this. Because I think he was fighting for a podium in the Etsulia Basque Country, but he just didn't get it in the end. The camera is now on Gregoire. You can see them up the road. And now the camera's on the Kosnefar, Mauro Schmidt, Alex Bodin group, as the three of them seem to be working together to try and salvage a podium here for either of them, as Romain Gregoire has dropped. So third place is up for grabs. The gap between them, the gap between that group and Gregoire is currently sitting about 35 seconds. I'd say 35 seconds is the gap between those. Gregoire's 13 seconds behind Evenepoel, and the Kosnefar group 45 seconds down. Gulpenerberg. Thank you, Johnny, but I think I'm glad that is the only time I have to pronounce that. But Remco hits the top of the first with Skjelmose in the wheel. Cat's going nuts. And then the PCS van is up next. The PCS van is up next, so it is after the I need to get Johnny's translation here. The Gulpenerberg. Kostner now at the front of this group, leading him to the top of this climb. Matthias will drop the nasty boy. 127 people in here. Jeez. Let me just say it again. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like the video as well. Live for Flesh and Liège on next week, that is. And then live for every single World Tour race after that. So if you do enjoy this type of stuff, I know cycling is very expensive at the moment, so a lot of people can't watch it. So I thought I would try my best to commentate the race for the people that can't. And then obviously people who do watch it. I remember when I used to watch it, I would sit on my own and watch it, and it could be quite boring. I guess quite boring when you're watching it yourself. So it is always nice to speak to someone else about the race. So that is another reason why I did start this. So if you do watch the race and want to listen along, or if you can't watch the race and you want to listen along, by all means subscribe, join the streams. Everyone is welcome. So yeah, now that's out of the way. 16k to go. Gap is 24 seconds from the front two to Gregoire. I'm going to change this to 15k now, but it's 16k. I'm just changing that to 15k to make things easier. On very narrow roads here at the moment, on this descent of the, where is Johnny's translation? The Gulpenerberg. It is the Alex Bodin now attacking out the front of this third chasing group. He's got a decent gap with Withen Philipsen now attacking out the front, trying to bring him back. Costu, I think, is on the wheel of Withen Philipsen. Yeah, so they're not wanting... Costu doesn't want Roman Gregoire brought back, and Withen Philipsen doesn't want Alex Bodin to reach Skjelmose. Well done, just subscribe. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. First time listeners subbed and liked. Appreciate it. Thank you. It's fun to have a chat group thingy when watching. Yeah, because I used to do it when I'm a Man United fan. So when United were playing football, I would always have the guy who does Mark Goldberg, you call him. I would always have his stream on, listening to him. So it's just someone else to listen to or someone else to talk to. So it's good that way. I wish Mathieu van der Poel was racing. He would have closed a 5-minute gap in 15. Yeah, well, especially after that Paris-Roubaix, closing that 2-minute gap in that amount of time. That was a scary race from him. So it was. So God knows what he would have done in this race without a crash, or not a crash, a mechanical. Why is the stream called Final K and not the Red K? What? What do you mean? I'm confused. I'm a bit confused there, John. It can get isolating watching alone. Yeah, I especially because when I watched it, I never watched it. Like I would for Tour de France stage, I would have never watched from about 80 kilometers out, because you're sitting there by yourself just watching. You're going, right, what's happening here? But I would always watch the final climb or the final 10 kilometers. I would never really sit down to watch the full race or stuff like or anything like that. So I get to do it now, and I get to speak to people in the chat, and it's a lot of fun. So it is. So everybody says it's hard now for Mathieu van der Poel, but I too wish he was here. Mathieu did not even. I noticed the Flamme Rouge. That's what. But yeah, I would either call it the Flamme Rouge, or they're just hitting the final K. That's how I would have said it. Van der Poel clearly was the strongest at Roubaix. Oh, I mean, 100%. Like, I mean, I see if Van der Poel didn't have his things, it would have been scary to see the gaps at the end of that race. But at the end of the day, I'm not glad that it happened, but I'm glad to see Wout van Aert getting his win. That was some race, so it was. I love interacting with such a great group of people. And Shelley. Oh. I also like the discussions just about cycling as well. Just any debate, because it doesn't bother me if I'm right or wrong. I like just listening to other people's opinions and what they think about the race or who they think is going to win it, because anything can happen in a race like this, and I don't mind being wrong as well. So I'm able to admit when I am wrong, because I've said, I'm not an expert at this. I'm just a fan of the sport and I love watching it. So see all the mechanical stuff about the bike, I literally know nothing about that. Watts as well, I know maybe 400 watts is pretty good, but when it comes to watts, I'm not like a big diver into that. I like watching the sport for what it is, and I take what I can get from it, and then I try my best to commentate it. But Skjelmose, anyway, back to the race, should I say. Skjelmose and Evenepoel still at the front, 12 kilometres to go. The gap to Roman Gregoire is now 40 seconds, with the third group chasing now 55 seconds down, so a 15-second gap for Cosnefroid, Bodin and Mars Schmidt, plus the others to Roman Gregoire. I find a lot of people here have really good points of view on cycling. And somehow you get all the good people. No trolls or super fans. But I mean, if they come into if that ever does happen, and it gets to the point where people are, I mean, they're spamming a flag, I will still try and pick out the chats, because there's a guy that I find him quite funny. There's a guy that comes into the chat sometimes, and there was one race, I can't remember what race it was. He came in and he was pretending he was Pogacar. It gave me a good laugh. Like, it was very funny. But yeah. Can't believe I've just read that. You have to be a super fan to watch cycling. Cycling is boring. Well, I wouldn't class myself as a super fan. I just like watching the sport. I think it's a very interesting sport, and I love all the riders and the different like. You've got the climbers, the time trial. I love all the different varieties that you can get. Now, don't get me wrong, watching an individual time trial does bore the life out of me. Like, but I've got $100 in USA online betting on Remco. I think you'll be bricking it here, seeing Skjelmose is with him, and he's the one that beat him in a sprint last year. Give me a break, Pog fans. Or cult like. For most people that is true, but I'm Dutch, and for us the Belgians, it is culture. Yeah, it's like a religion. So it is. I hope Remco but for almost any other culture, it's not that easy to get into the cycling. Yeah, I agree. But we're into the final 10 kilometres here. If you are just joining, we're into the final 10 kilometres of the 60th edition of the Amstel Gold Race. A lot has happened. A lot more bad than good, to be honest. But we've got Remco Evenepoel and Skjelmose out the front on their own, with a 51-second gap to Roman Gregoire, and then a minute gap to a chasing group, which does consist of 8 riders. Within Philipsen of Little Trek, Cosnefroid of UAE, Verstringa of Alpecin, Alex Bodin of AF Education, Costu of Groupama, Marco Frigo is still in there of NSN, he's been in the breakaway all day. Van Sevenen of Quickstep, he's also there, and then the last rider in the group is Maro Schmidt. earlier in the race, I can't actually remember the kilometer it happened, but round the corner after the, actually I do, let me see if I can, what time did they attack on? I think it was between the Hooperberg and the Iser Bosweg. An attack from Roman Gregoire sprung everyone in the action. Remco, Skjelmose, Jorgensen, Kevin Vacquelin over the top of the climb. I think it was just before they started the descent, round the bend, Kevin Vacquelin skids, hitting the deck, and Jorgensen straight over the top of him. Jorgensen, I'm pretty sure, has abandoned. I haven't actually seen anything to say he has, but he didn't get up off the ground. He was lying flat on his back and wasn't moving. Vacquelin did get onto his bike, but Ineos seemed to have no options left because Vacquelin crashed, Dorian Goudon had a mechanical, and Axel Laurence was being used as a teammate. So all of Ineos' options are gone. But Roman Gregoire here is getting caught by the third group, so we're just down to 2 groups now instead of 3. A minute down on Remco and Skjelmose. I only got in the cycling at 35. It took a while to pick up. If I can, I still learn stuff about it all the time. Like there's always something you're never going to know about the sport. I much prefer to celebrate successes than revel in failure. Yeah, cycling is chess on wheels. Perfectly described there, John. It's crazy to think there are under 100 people listening to an Amstel live reaction. Weird as an American, at least. I imagine it's different in Europe. Oh, I got into it when I was 5. How old was I? I'll be able to work it out. Let me see. I went to my first race when I was... there's no point in trying to work it out. Went to my first race in... I was about 7 or 8 when I went to my first race, but I didn't really get into it and start picking it up until about 2014. So I didn't... How old was it then? I can't even remember. Can't even remember. My other boy used to hang it in the bike shop. Ride a bike when I was 4. You just pick it up, and you can pick it up at any age. So you can. But 7.7k to go. A minute and 17 the gap for the chasing group to Remco and Skjelmose. They're about to hit the Cowberg here for the final time. Oh no, sorry, that's a lie. There's 4.8 kilometers to the final Cowberg. I was a bit confused there when I said it. But they are down a... Yeah, I'll do a quick poll. With an attack out the front of the chasing group for Marco Frigo. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant to see. Right, I'm just getting a quick poll up here. And I actually don't know who to pick myself, right? So there's a poll in the chat there. If you do want to vote on it, who's winning the sprint, Evenepoel or Skjelmose? And I don't actually know myself. It's not boring to watch this year, babe. The best sporting TV I've seen. I did put a video up saying that is this the best classic season we've seen in quite some time, because I had seen a lot of people talking about it, so I just thought I'd make a video on it, just recapping the classics. But it has been a very, very good classic season this year. You just want to see the battle. You don't favour any of the two up the front. Fair enough. Let's see the 14 votes already. 57% through. Skjelmose is the favourite. I think I'm gonna go with I don't know. 6.0 kilometers, so 6 kilometers to go now. I think I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Evenepoel. pardon me. I will stick with my original guess, and I'll say Evenepoel will win in this sprint. But it's pretty much a repeat. Oh, sorry, I hit my table there. It's pretty much a repeat of last year, minus Pogačar, like someone said earlier. But it is, I suppose, it makes it better, because last year was Pogačar and Evenepoel. No one really had Skjelmose, but then Skjelmose won, so Skjelmose then boosts his credentials going into this sprint with Evenepoel, because he did beat him in it last year, but Evenepoel's Evenepoel, and he could pull it off if he wanted to. So we've got a very tight sprint here going into the final 5 kilometers off Amstel Gold. Remember to hit like. Yes, I will say it before we hit the Kouberg, Shelly, but thank you for reminding me. Damn, you guys go way back. I started watching in the Bugard era, Skelly, just because Remco hasn't shouted enough to deserve it. Will you ever do non-watch-along live streams? I mean, I would love to. I would love to go to a race and go live, potentially on TikTok or even YouTube. But I don't know if it'd be allowed at the Tour de France, etc. You know, filming the end of the race. But I would do it I would love to do it at some point. Go live for a race. See, just to see how it does go. Remco. Not even going to read that, John. That is not even going to read that. But we're into the final 5 kilometers now. I hope what John says doesn't happen. But we have an attack out the front of the chasing group from Verstringen, I believe. He was the one for Alpecin, wasn't he? Yeah, Verstringen. Remco will get a Dutchman throwing a... Then he will start shouting and still win. The polls on, 19 votes, and I've seen it there. It's fluctuating between 50-50 and it's back to 50-50 now. 20 votes, and it is exactly 50-50. We've got 4.4 kilometers to go. They were delivered by telegraph. Not carrier pigeon, no. No, I'm only joking. Go with mail. But 4 kilometer, the gap, the chasing group is out of it. 1:34 down the road. It's as who is that? Costu now attacking out the front. Obviously, Groupama are fuming. They aren't going to get the podium, or guaranteed a podium, with Roman Gregoire dropping from that group. So it is left to Costu to do a sprint here, or even attack on the final Kouberg. But with 3.7 kilometers to go, and it is all kicking up in the chasing group. So I think we're going to have, by the time, within the final, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where Evenepoel and Skjelmose will be when the chasing group is doing all the attacking. Blah, blah, blah. Not that old, almost, but not quite. My live stream was delivered by Smoke Signal. Always watch Tour de France, but really loved the wider season after going to Paris-Roubaix back in 2012. Yeah, fair enough. So 21 votes, 52% think Skjelmose. I've got 115 people in here with 2.8 to go. They're about to go into the Kouberg, so I will just say for the final time before the finish, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. 115 people in here. Don't forget to like as well. I'll be live for Flèche and Liège during the week, and the Romandy next week, and every single World Tour race I can possibly go live for. But they have now hit the Kouberg. 2.6k to go. Remco's at the front, out of the saddle, no attack yet, but that is 900 metres long, has an average of 7% and a maximum of 11.7%. The crowds at this climb are massive, so they're going to be expecting a big attack from someone here, or either they were 1:40 up the road, maybe they've agreed to go to the top together and decide it in a sprint, but I highly doubt that with these two. Skjelmose out of the saddle in second place. Now, Skjelmose does have an advantage in this race. His hair sticking out of the helmet, so he's got that Pogačar style going into it. Do I follow Irish cycling? Not as much as I would like to. So I don't. I mean, I would like to get to know into more the local races, but at the moment I don't really follow. I follow Irish riders that cycle, but I wouldn't follow Irish cycling. And don't get me wrong, I would. So I would. Mateus, Remco better win this because cheesy days are over. Let's go. Let's go Skjelmose. My nails are gone. There's another Irish dude riding fine. Jamie Meehan from Cofidis, not here. A lot of Irish youngsters. Yeah, Seth Dunwoody in the Paris-Roubaix. There was Rafferty's brother. He was in the Liège under 23 there as well. He got in the top 25 in it. So he did. And yeah, Jamie Meehan. So there's a lot of youngsters from Ireland coming up. So, commentator just said steepest gradients out of the way, so it is going to flatten off to the top now. But no one attacked. No one did anything there. I'm actually quite surprised at it. But they're side by side. 1.8 kilometers to go. 1:46 left on the left. 1:46 down is the chasing group. I don't know why. 1.5 kilometers left. I don't know why I changed that to so specific, but it's because they're taking that long up it. 1.6k with Remco Evenepoel at the front, Skjelmose in the wheel. They were side by side there, but it is now Remco at the front. Of Skjelmose, if you are just joining, Skjelmose, obviously the winner of this race last year. Remco got third at this race last year behind Pogacar and Skjelmose. It was his debut last year. And Evenepoel has had a brilliant Tour of Flanders there. He was very, very good and got a podium. And in the Volta Catalunya, after hitting that massive pothole that he did hit, he was brilliant after that, so he was. So he's coming in on good form for this. Skjelmose, not as good of a form, I suppose, but still in this race he looks comfortable and he looks good. We've got 1.1 kilometer. They're about to hit the final kilometer now. There we go, final K. This is the final K now. With Skjelmose at the front, Evenepoel on the wheel. Evenepoel's going to get the draft from the sprint. Skjelmose looks over his left shoulder, moves to the left-hand side of the road. Now looks over his right shoulder, fixes his shoe. Is there an issue with the shoe? He fixes both of his shoes. Remco's still on his wheel. Maybe he was hoping for Evenepoel to go through there, pretend there was an issue with his shoe, so Remco could go to the front. He could get the draft, but Remco wasn't believing the bluff if it was one, but he is still sat on the wheel of Skjelmose. 500 metres they're about to hit now. 120 people in here, jeez. So we will see what happened. Now, don't forget, I think Skjelmose last year, he got the draft from both Pogacar and Evenepoel. This year, Evenepoel is getting the draft from him. He's not letting them go this easy. Evenepoel looking over his right-hand shoulder still. Evenepoel not cracking. He's not showing his cards yet. 300 metres they are about to hit. They're almost at walking pace here. They're going that slow with Skjelmose still looking over his shoulder, waiting for the first one to go. Remco Evenepoel out of the saddle now. Remco launches, comes around the left-hand side of Skjelmose. Skjelmose tries to react. He is now in the wheel of Remco. Remco's not letting up here. This is a massive sprint from Remco. Remco's now gapping Skjelmose. Remco is going to win this race. Remco now gaps Skjelmose. Hands off the handlebar. And Remco lets out a massive shout and scream as he crosses and wins the Amstel Gold Race 2026. What a sprint. Brilliant. What a sprint. That was like a game of chess there in that final kilometer. And Remco played it perfectly. There they are after the race, arms around each other. What a sprint. That was a very, fair play. Skjelmose just didn't have the sprint in him in the end. Remco, good sprint. What a sprint. Great commentary. Thank you. Romain going to get third. So here we go. Marco Frigo. I completely forgot about the battle for third, but Marco Frigo leads him into the final kilometer. Within Philipsen in third. Within Philipsen in second wheel. Cost you third. Mara Schmidt fourth, fifth-ish. Verstringa in fourth, fifth-ish as well. Costnefar at the back as well as Roman Gregoire, but Camera don't really want it. Yes, Skjelmose a fair play. He got second, but can we get they're in the final kilometer here. Can we get the... Right, so Witham Philipsen is leading them onto this race. Kostju is in second wheel. Groupama obviously will be looking for this podium place. But Marco Frigo looks like he will be getting a top 10, potentially. Yeah, so everyone in this group finishes in the top 10. So they do. But Marco Frigo at the back. Witham Philipsen at the front. Marco Frigo launches from the back. Marco Frigo has been nuts this race. So he launches from the back on the left-hand side. Everyone else is reacting now with Kostju coming through the front past Witham Philipsen straight under the wheel of Marco Frigo. But if Marco Frigo wins this is unreal. Kostjuna comes on the right-hand side. It looks like Groupama are going to get their podium. With Philipsen sat in third. Or second, sorry. Kostner now comes on the right-hand side. He looks like he's going to get the podium. Who's it going to be? They're all stretched out across the road. It is going to be Kostner from UAE. Yeah, fair play. Fair play. Kostner gets it for UAE. That's a massive result for UAE after losing Del Toro. They don't have Tim Wellens for this. They don't have Narvaez running, but Kostner gets third. Brilliant. Out of breath again. Yahtzee, thanks Remco. There you go. Here's the peloton now. There's Dorian Goudon and Kevin Vacklin in this as well. Enjoy the chat and the race. Thanks, Reese. Thank you, Shelley. Nice job. Thanks for doing this. No problem, John. Well done, Remco. But yes, I'm sure a lot of people will be heading off it now. We've still got 102, so don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date. My Watchalong preview should be out tonight or tomorrow potentially, so keep an eye out for it. But don't forget to like the video, subscribe as well. This stream has been another brilliant one after the Paris-Roubaix brilliant one last Sunday. So I will wait for the top 10 as always, but I'm just expecting a lot of people to be heading off now. So yes, don't forget to subscribe. It means a lot. The road to 1,000 is on, but we will see. I'll wait for the top 10 and see what the crack is there. So I will. But let me go through. Nice job. See you next race for sure. Appreciate it. Thanks very much. Jules, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Well done, mate. Great commentary. Appreciate it. UAE doesn't need points. Wish the others took third. But they'd rather, I mean, UAE they'll take the points. Like, appreciate your broadcast. Nice stream. See you again later this week. Appreciate it. Thank you. Super stream again. Final K and all the chatters. See you later, Kat. Thanks again. Great stream. Cheers. All the best, Ian. Well done again. I'll be around for Flash. Appreciate it. Thank you. Great stream. Thank you. But I will wait for the top 10 here as always if anyone is interested in the top 10. But thank you. No problem. Much love to you. Much love to you all, and thanks for the awesome stream. Thank you. Yes, costing for money, lol. But they're just showing the sprint here again. Brilliant sprint from Evenepoel. It was it was, like I said, it was like a game of chess in the final kilometer, almost walking pace. But Remco lets out a massive scream at the end of it, punches the air 2 or 3 times. They're doing the interview now, but I hope they get the top 10 up here pretty soon. Happy Remco, calms on him and full attention. I was actually, when I said he punches the air 3 or 4 times, I was going to say getting the photos done. I was going to wait for someone to say about the media, but you were quick to it there, Johnny. Thanks to all the second pals in here. See you next stream. Yes, see you next stream. See you for the flash and not in your... See you later, Kat. See you later. But yes, let me... Remco just getting his interview done here. He's just getting his interview done here. As you said, fair play to the team. Great race. Wasn't easy in the rain. I would love to have seen Jorgensen and Kevin Vacklin in that front group though. But you never. Is it one of those if buts and maybes? We're gonna get the top 10 here or what? Oh. And of course, PCS crashes. Great. Of course it does. Remco wins, so everyone hits PCS and crashes it. Oh, here we go. Right. So we know the top 3. Do they have the top 10 now? That is the question. Oh, they do. Right, so we've got the top 10 now for anyone that stayed waiting. So Remco Evenepoel finishes in first, obviously. I don't know why it's such a big deal. Skjelmose in second, Kostner in third, Roman Gregoire gets fourth. Oh, just missing out in the podium. Verstringen in fifth. That's a massive result for Alpecin. Mauro Schmidt in sixth. Van Sevenant in seventh. Withen Philipsen in eighth. Kostju in ninth. And Marco Frigo in 10th. Brilliant. For my rider of the day, I'd probably give it to Marco Frigo. I think that was brilliant. Brilliant from him. I'd probably give him rider of the day. But that is the top 10. I'm going to end the stream now. So, like I said before, I'll say it again. Thanks. Thank you for watching. It means a lot. I'll be live again for Watchalong on Wednesday, and Liège-Bastogne-Liège on Sunday. So don't forget to subscribe, stay up to date, and like the stream as well. And the Watchalong preview is out on tonight or tomorrow, so keep an eye out for it. But yes, as always, thank you for watching the Final K, and all the best.